Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Swag Talks. I am Amani Satyapriya and my partner Tabitha from CSCA. In this video, we are going to explain about file access methods. Under the guidance of Dr. M. Prasad, PhD, Associate Professor, Department of CSC, SVCW, Bhimavaram. Moving to our video, file access methods. First of all, what is a file? A file can be referred to as the collection of data which is in the form of bit or bytes which are stored in secondary storage like hard drives. Actually, a file is nothing but a collection of relevant data or a group of data. And we usually store that files in a secondary storages like hard drives, magnetic disks, magnetic tapes, etc. And now what is file access? When you want to use the information sorted in a file, it needs to be accessed and reads into the computer memory. If we want to access the information from a file, first the file must be read into the computer memory. And there are different ways to access the information in a file. Let's look at various ways to access files that's stored in a memory. These are the three file access methods: sequential access, direct access, indexed access. And these three methods has its own characteristics and its own use cases. And the choice of method depends on the type of the file and nature of data access and performance considerations. The first access method is sequential access method. Sequential access is one of the simplest and old file access method in OS. Compared to the direct access and the index access methods, the sequential access is easy to implement. And sequential access is a method of accessing a file where data processed in a sequential manner. It means we can access the data in a linear order or a linear manner. A pointer is maintained which initially points to the base address of the file. If the user wants to read first word of the file, then the pointer provides that word to the user and increases its value by one word. Let's understand this by using the diagram. See, there are 9 blocks present in a file. Let's assume that each block contains 3 records. And a pointer is maintained which initially points to the base address of the file. For suppose if the user wants the record that present in the block 1, then this pointer provides the record to the user and increases its value by one word. It means it moved to the block 2. For suppose if the user wants the record that present in the block 8, then the pointer needs to travel all the blocks until it reaches the block 8. So in sequential method, we can say that we sequentially accessing the blocks. Examples of sequential access method. First one is reading files. Reading text file line by line. We usually read the text or information in a file line by line manner. And second one is writing files. Writing sequentially involves adding data to a file in a linear manner. And we can also add the information or a data into a file in a linear manner. So we can do these two operations in a linear manner. So these are the two examples for sequential access methods. And coming to the characteristics, simple implementation. Sequential access methods are relatively simple to implement, making them suitable for basic file processing tasks. As we discussed before, sequential access method is easy to implement, and we use this sequential access method for basic file processing tasks. Advantages. It is very simple to implement as the data is read from the beginning until the desired result is found. Sequential access method is easy to implement because the data is read from the beginning until the desired result is found. So there is no complications while implementing the sequential access method. So the overhead is low. Coming to the disadvantages, it is not suitable for random access of the data as it only reading and writing the data sequentially, so it will not work fast in the case of randomly distributed system. So sequential access is not suitable for random access because we have to traverse all the blocks until the desired data is reached. As we see in the previous diagram, if we want the record that present in the blockade, then we have to traverse all the blocks. So we can't randomly access that blockade. So random access is not suitable in the case of sequential access method. It is inefficient for writing larger files where the data needs to be modified or added as we have to rewrite the entire record if the data needs to be modified or deleted. Sequential access method is not efficient for large files because if we want to modify any data then we have to rewrite entire record. And the next one is direct access method. Direct access method is also known as a random access method, and we can directly access any record in a file without having to traverse the entire file sequentially. As we see in sequential access method, we have to traverse entire the file until the desired data is reached. But in direct access method, we can directly access that record. So there is no need to traverse the entire file sequentially. And we can jump to any record and read that record. Sequential access can be easily emulated using direct access. The inverse is complicated and inefficient. And we usually use direct access method if we need any filtered information from the database. There are 9 blocks present in a file, and let us assume that each block contains 3 records. And the pointer is currently present at block 3. And now we want the record that present in the block 8. In that case, we can directly go to that 8 block and access the record. So there is no need to traverse the file sequentially. So we can directly go to the block 8. So this is direct access method. Examples of direct access method. Direct mapped file organization, hashed file organization, clustered file organization. Coming to the characteristics, random access. The primary characteristic of direct access is the ability to access any record or block of data in the file directly without the need to traverse the preceding records. So in direct access, we can directly access any record in a file without having to traverse the entire file sequentially. So random access is one of the main characteristics of direct access. Efficient retrieval. Direct access methods are efficient when it comes to retrieving specific records or blocks of data from a file. If we want a specific record or data from a file, then the direct access method is efficient. Advantages. We can use direct access for processing large files where the data is not accessed sequentially. Actually, we can't use the sequential access method for processing large files because in sequential access method, we have to traverse all the records sequentially. So it is not suitable for processing large files. In that case, we can use the direct access for processing large files because in direct access method, we can directly get the record. It is faster than the sequential access. Coming to the disadvantage, it has a higher overhead compared to sequential access as we need to determine the location of data before accessing it. In direct access method, first we have to know the location of data. So for this reason, it has higher overhead compared to the sequential access. And the next method is indexed access method. Indexed access method is used to access specific records in a file directly through an index. First of all, an index is nothing but the address of a record in a file. Like how the books contains index space at front, at the same way, records in a file also contains the indexes. And by using the indexes, we can access the records. In index accessing, searching in a large database become very quick and easy. To find record in a large database, we first search the index. So it makes easy to find the record. Very large files may require a multi-tiered indexing scheme, that is indexes of indexes. Let's understand this line by using the diagram. Let's see the diagram. It is a database and these numbers are the indexes of records. And 269 are the indexes of some records. And again this 269 contains the index of 5. This is index of indexes. And this scheme is known as multi-tiered indexing scheme. And some large files use this multi-tiered indexing scheme. Examples for indexed access method: file allocation table, inverted page table, B trees. Coming to the characteristics, efficient retrieval. Indexed access methods are designed for efficient retrieval of records based on their keys. By using the keys or indexes of a record, we can easily retrieve that record. So indexed access method has a efficient retrieval. And then index structure. Indexed access methods utilize an index structure that maps key value to the corresponding positions or address of records in a file. When we search a key or an index of a record, then that key value maps to the corresponding position of the record and enables us to retrieve that record. Advantages of indexed access method. It provides fast access to all the data blocks within the file, and it is very efficient for large files as it saves a lot of search time. If we want any record, and we can easily search that index and we can get that record easily. So it saves a lot of searching time. Coming to the disadvantages, there can be a index overhead with creating and maintaining the index, as we have to update the index every time a record is modified or updated. Whenever we want to modify or update a record, we also have to update that index. So there is a index overhead. And the storage requirements increases as the additional storage space to store the index. To store the record indexes, we need an extra storage space. Hope this video will help you all. Thank you for watching.